say meow. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Almost Normal Podcast. I'm your host William with my co-host Slaxon. Welcome.
I am indeed apparently Slaxon, even though I do all the work for the podcast. So yes,
Bro, I will always be William and you'll always be Slaxon.
I don't think anybody calls you Will I Am anymore.
No, thank God to that. Oh my God. I used to write that on like all my papers, bro, in that class. The cringe.
Guys, it is the final episode of season 1.
Introduction.
The introductory season. Next season, you'll be able to see our beautiful faces every episode. Will's so excited for that.
I'm so excited.
We got half of our gear. We just have to buy lighting.
The expensive stuff.
Yeah. In like 2 weeks, you guys will see a trailer for season 2. That's pretty cool.
Original music.
With original music
from Jalescent.
Produced by Jalescent.
I do think at some point. Nothing. I'll say it when the time is ready. I'll say it.
Why?
I'll say it when the time is ready.
Okay, whatever.
I will save it.
Guys, Will finally got a mic stand.
Yeah, I set it up. It was
Will didn't set it up.
Man, it's pristine.
I had to set it up for him because he was doing, adult things like working.
Like working, yeah.
That's
all crooked too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to yours.
Yeah, you broke it.
I didn't break it.
Yeah, you broke it.
I don't know.
That's what it is. I'm going to be messing with it every podcast.
Probably. I mean, it's only crooked like this way. So, like, when you're seeing it on camera, you won't notice.
But they'll know.
They'll know since we talked about it.
They'll be looking at mine like, that bitch is crooked. That bitch is crooked. That hella crooked.
Yeah.
Newsflash, guys. I finally got rid of my pop socket. Oh my God.
Yeah, it looks really weird.
I used to... So I don't like wallets, right? So I got rid of my wallet. And I got a pop socket with the wallet attached. And I put that on my phone. It wasn't centered. It was like wobbly and shit. It didn't look nice. But I was like, it's convenient. I took it off recently. And the funniest shit happened, man. I went to the store that day with a friend. And I go inside to go pay. I put myself on the counter. I slap my phone, expecting my wallet to be there. And it's not there. I go outside. And I'm like, I open the door to my friend's car. I'm like, yo, I'll pay you back. I forgot my fucking wallet. That was funny. It was, you had to be there. It was so funny to me. I was laughing so hard.
Well, before we start,
I was so
since
high.
We have like actual plans for this episode, I just want to read out 2 comments that really stood out to me.
Oh, okay.
First off, these are by the same person, so I'll mention them at the end.
Smooth.
The first one is, this should be called the Almost Gay Podcast.
Oh.
Because of the amount of times we talk about LGBT stuff. And on the topic with LGBT stuff, Will.
Uh-huh.
I was told, I've been saving this for a few days.
He's going to call me gay, isn't he? Okay.
This was told.
What is it?
Has to be mentioned in the final episode.
Okay, go. Mm-hmm.
Will, you have to swear on your life that you are not asexual.
Yeah. Bro, what the... Who's this motherfucker?
You have to swear on your life.
I'm not asexual. I'm not asexual.
You didn't swear in your life.
I swear on my life.
He's crossing his fingers right now.
I'm not. I'll download Tinder. I'll download Tinder.
You can still be asexual and download Tinder.
I'm not asexual.
That was our comment from the Duck God, because he is the Duck God.
Fuck you, Duck God. I don't give a fuck about you.
Oh, he also said we should come to Australia.
Well, I could probably die there. All right, sure.
We could go to Australia and he could kick his ass for calling you asexual.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. I'll jump over his borders too. Dumb bitch.
You don't have to jump over their border.
Yeah, no.
They don't have a fence or anything. They just have water.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've been saving this since episode 2.
Yeah. Episode 2.
Yeah, because episode 2 is when we were talking about this, and we said we're gonna hold it off for a little bit, and then as time went along, we said we'll save it for the final episode.
I haven't been paying attention to our topics, honestly.
Yeah, you just kind of talk, and then you don't even listen to it again.
No. Talk, move on.
We are talking
Hakuna Matata.
About
rainbows,
illegal stuff that we've done, getting caught by the cops.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to end it off with that night?
I mean, yeah, it's the only proper way to end it.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
So let's start with this. Everyone, you might have to go back and listen to episode 2 to get to the point we're at now.
I don't think so.
You will.
Will you?
Yes.
Oh.
So
I wouldn't.
Well, then they're gonna not understand what happened before this.
What do you mean? Okay, go on.
I'm talking about Kville Crew. You need to go back to when we first met them to get the generalized story.
I guess.
Guys, quick little refresher.
Oh, you're giving it a refresher. It doesn't matter
anymore.
I know. Jesus.
Towards the end of episode 2, we talked about how we met. You're still gonna hold the stand?
Yeah. Go on, just keep talking.
Okay, so towards the end of episode 2, we talked about how we met these people. It all started when I was like, "Yo, you got a jewel?"
Yeah, you got a jewel.
And a little bit later, we hung out with them a few times. Stop messing with shit.
You just keep. Jeez.
Everybody can hear it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna do it, and you're just gonna cut this out. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Just cut this out.
I probably won't cut it out.
Just cut this out.
You're asking for too much. Maybe if you edited, you could cut it out, but
I mean, you don't have to cut it out. Whatever. Can I take this out? Does this come out? I should have asked. That's what it is. Okay.
Go on. Just continue what you're doing.
Yeah.
We can wait.
Yeah.
So we met these people, and around the beginning of August, we went to the one person's birthday.
Lenny. That's what I called her. Yeah,
we went to Lenny's birthday, and this is where most of everything started.
This is where we met most of the people involved.
This is where we met most of the people, but this is where it really started, because this is when we started hanging out with them consistently. So,
who was at the party? Lenny, Pickle, and
some other people.
Cad,
Off-brand Daniel Bergoli.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And JID.
And who?
JID.
Oh, sure. I don't remember his actual name, so I don't think
he has the same hairstyle as JID, like similar.
Yeah.
Similar, yeah. JID. And that's it.
So,
that's the squad. And me and Jack.
We met them, and we decided that we were going to go for a drive. So we drive to this little beach called Betterton. We started driving there. And
know that at this moment in time, Jack is the only one sober.
Yes.
Jack is the only one sober.
But, so we start driving there. The one girl decides that she doesn't want to go because she doesn't feel good. So we have to bring her back.
Danielle?
No.
What? Who?
Daniel Bergoli didn't go with us.
Yeah, that's why I was so confused. See, we should have planned this out before the podcast.
You're the only one who doesn't know the information. You were high half the time. You don't know any of this. You probably forget half of the shit that happened.
You know, that's fair enough. All right, go on.
M?
Who? Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I don't remember that bitch.
So we had to turn around and bring her back, and then we started going to this little beach because Lainey wanted to meet up with her friend, which I found out was the same friend that I used to be friends with back in elementary school. Small world. He's still pretty cool.
Is he? Just to talk to him?
A little bit.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Okay.
We never met him.
Yeah, we never met him. We got there, and it started raining, and he ended up having to do something, so we couldn't actually see him.
Yeah, what a fucking
So we
failure.
started driving back the main road we came from,
Flooded.
and the road was completely flooded. You couldn't get through it.
We took a left turn. Flooded.
We turned around and went down another road. Flooded.
Took another road.
Well, actually,
flooded.
this
All flooded. We were surrounded by water.
bro, you were high. You don't remember any of this.
We were surrounded by water. We were.
Okay, so
No,
we
that's a
went
fact.
down this one road, and the one, it looked flooded, but it was like, okay, it's not that bad. So we drove through it, and we keep driving, and we find another part of it flooded, and you can't get through that. It was like a little over ankle deep water. So we turned around,
It
went through
broke
the
our
other
ankles,
one.
bro.
Are you done?
No.
Considering you don't remember half the shit that happened.
No, I know what's happened. Let's go. Let's move on.
So we went back, and we went back to the main road,
I'm just ad-libbing.
and we saw someone commit to going through. So we're like, well, we can try doing it. So we backed up, and we went 0 to 60 through the water, which I found out you're actually not supposed to go fast through it. You're supposed to go like a medium speed.
Yeah.
But we still did fine, so I don't see what the issue is.
Is what it is. That Sentra got hands.
Yeah, so we made it through, and that was pretty much the end of that day. Nothing much happened after that.
Nothing much. Now we went home.
We went home like
Cried.
normal. My mom called me, asked where I was, because I told her I was going for a bike ride, and at that point, Will was not allowed in my car. But we took him anyway. My bike was in the back of the car, and yeah. So my
Yeah.
mom called me asking where I was, how long I was going to be. And I said, I'll be home soon. I just got back to my car, and we rode back. This is where all the lies start.
Yeah. And they never ended. And they never ended.
So after that, there was maybe like a month period where we didn't really see them, but we were still talking to them.
You was. I didn't have a phone. Or I wasn't in contact with them.
And then my mom told me I should start going back to this Bible study thing. So I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
I went to it for about 2 weeks and got bored. But I told my mom I was going to keep going. Instead, I asked Will and all them if they wanted to start hanging out.
I said no.
No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up.
I said no.
No, you didn't.
I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to hang out with Jackson specifically. He's such a boring dude. He's a boring dude. I replaced him with Slaxon. Oh, what's up, Slaxon?
I'm the one who found every abandoned place that we've ever gone to.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So we start doing this, and as time goes along, it starts getting boring because all we're doing is driving around, kind of like what me and Will do now. But we're just kind of like driving around, getting food, just messing around.
Because the thing was that we couldn't really go out for a long time because Jack always had a curfew. We always had to be like back by what time? Like 10?
Yeah.
10? Yeah.
We would still leave around like 6:30. That was plenty of time to do stuff.
To the places that we went, like Port Deposit.
Yeah.
We drove there and we were like there for like maybe how long? Like 30 minutes? How long?
Like an hour and a half.
Really? It didn't seem like that. It seemed like most places we didn't have enough time to like fully explore.
Okay, hold on. Let's bring it back. Okay. So we would hang out, and there was one time I was like, I was talking to Will. I'm like, well, we've always been into like going to abandoned places and like doing like small stuff, but we never done anything big. So I started doing research, and I found this place. It was an abandoned school in Port Deposit, Maryland. I was like, I posted a video in the group chat. I was like, hey guys, you guys want to check this out? Everybody jumped on it. So
I didn't.
Yes, you did. Will, you jumped on everything more faster than anybody else.
What do you mean? I never went here, bro. Moving on. Moving on.
We're already 15 minutes in. You're gonna make this last way longer because you keep saying you didn't do all this stuff.
I mean, I didn't, bro. I'm just home studying for my SATs.
Will, we already talked about how you failed school and you're a dropout.
Oh man, I let the cats out. I think. Right, we stopped the podcast because Slackson's grandfather came and was like, bro, the door's open. Let's go check the cat's outside. It was outside. We found him, but we're all good now.
Wait, what was she actually outside?
Yeah, she was.
Oh.
He opened the door and she was just chilling on steps on the edge.
Meow.
At the
Meow.
end of the porch. I was like,
I'm
what's
cold.
up?
Let me in. She's like, I was out here for 5 seconds. I'm scared. This is too overwhelming. I'm a house cat. I'm not supposed to leave. But yeah, so we all decided to go to this place. So we left at our normal time around like 6:30, and we drive up there, and we're trying to find a way in. We were struggling for a little bit, so I text the guy who made the video that I found.
Wait. Was this with Paige?
No.
Okay.
No.
I swear the first time we went there was with Paige and I,
I don't think, no.
Really? Okay. All right.
We took them for their first time.
Oh, you're right. Okay. All right.
So we went there. Mind you, since it was like September, October.
It's cold.
It wasn't. No. When we started, it wasn't cold.
Okay. All right.
But
I
it
thought
got dark kind of quick.
Oh, okay.
So every time we would go, it'd be like pitch black there. So we went there. We explored one house. We walked up to another one, and then we thought we heard noises. So
I see. I remember what happened.
We left.
Yeah, we left. This will be important for later, but somewhere before this ever happened, I think it was just me and Jack in the car. But we had this little discussion, like, if we have like this little gut feeling, we feel like we shouldn't be there. We'll listen to it and we'll walk away.
This will come up in the future, in a little bit later in this episode.
So we walk up to what looks like what was the main building, and we just hear.
It looks like the Mansions cover of the NF album.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And we just hear noises inside. It was like probably metal or something like.
It could have been the wind blowing something. It could have even been like an animal.
Yeah, we
we
were assuming it was homeless people. With needles.
Which now that I think about it, doesn't seem possible because in Port Deposit there's not homeless people, and it's pretty up there. It could have also been like other teenagers.
Yeah,
I mean, it was for a little bit. It was a popular place. I mean, that's how the big hole in the roof of that place came to be, because some kids caught it on fire. Wasn't us.
Smooth. So yeah, we heard a bunch of things and we left. We only explored one building. That's it. It wasn't even a big building, but it is what it is.
It was more like a house.
It was like a house. So we left, and then did we come last time with them, or did we bring?
No, we went again and we actually explored that one building.
Really? What the hell?
So we went again the next week.
I get high too often, bro.
I don't even think you were high for this one too.
Really?
Yeah, I just think. I mean, it was a good bit ago, and a lot of the places merged together in your brain because it was like repetitive what we were doing.
My draw life is gonna be whack.
Yeah. So we went there again the next week, and we stood out there for a good like 5 minutes, and we listened, and we couldn't hear anything.
So I just walked in. I'm pretty sure I'm the one who just walked in, right?
Yeah, Will just said screw it and walked in, and we waited, and Will didn't die, so we went in too. He's like, bro, this place is cool. We got double stairs. So we walked around and we explored it. It was pretty cool. There was a bunch of other buildings. We didn't go into it, though, because we were still scared.
I think it's time restraints.
Huh?
I think it was time restraints that just didn't let us.
Yeah. So we stopped going, and then this Bible study thing, they started doing things on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I was like, hey, Mom, I want to start doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She's like, okay, good job. Okay, good for you.
Good little Christian boy.
So guess what? We started hanging out Tuesdays and Thursdays. And sometimes we would do stuff like that. Other times we just drive around. We went to this little bridge that was called Crybaby Bridge. It was spray painted. This will also come up later in the story. And
that place.
That was pretty cool. I don't think much happened between that. Towards the end of that, if you guys remember back to the relationships episode, if you did listen to it, I was dating this one girl and she dumped me, and I wrote a song about it. Around this time, we were still all hanging out, and we decided that we were just gonna go do something chill. And they all thought about this place. It was called the Bluff. It was supposed to be a bluff, but there wasn't actually a bluff. It was
a step down.
It was just a step down. So we went there, and I was depressed talking to the one girl,
to Lenny.
Yeah, and then
I struggled to make a fire. I succeeded.
Yeah, Will struggled to make a fire, but he ended up doing it. So we had a little bonfire on this little beach. This other kid there, we're not even going to say anything that is close to his name, but he was
don't even say that part. I don't.
He was self-harming while we were there, and it was really awkward for everyone else because he was just doing it. I'm like, okay, this is...
He was like right next to me too. I was like, bro, give me the fucking knife, dude.
Will was more annoyed than like, dude, you shouldn't be doing that. Come on. Will was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, dude, we're all hanging out. This is not the time to be doing this. Jackson's depressed. No one else is allowed to be depressed except Jackson right now.
I didn't say that, dude. I didn't say that.
Gosh, no one gives a fuck about you. You know who?
I didn't say that either.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
bro,
no.
I was like, bro, have a little self-control, you know?
Like, yeah, bro. Like, you're hanging out with a bunch of people. It's like fucking weird and awkward.
So I just took it away from him. I think I kept it for a little bit, but then I gave it to Lenny later.
So yeah, we went there, and then a little bit after that,
the disclaimer: he's doing a lot better now. He's doing a lot better now.
I talked to his mom a few months ago, and she said that he moved in with, I think, his grandmother, and he started doing different schools so he could get away from all the craziness of the other group. And he's doing a lot better right now. He's focusing on school, and he has actual life goals, unlike me and Will. So I think at this point he's doing better than us, which is rough since he was doing worse than us at one point.
Don't say that. Respect to you, my friend.
But yeah, hey, respect. You know how to drop the people who are not good for you and move on and try to create a better life. So
claps around. My hands are in my pockets.
Honestly,
so I'm not gonna clap.
I'm not gonna make any assumptions, but for all we know, at this point, he was still a youngin', so he could have just been wanting some attention. I'm not gonna say that's what it was, but it could have been possible.
I did hear. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. Let's move on.
But yeah, so a little bit after that,
it's a lot of walking, bro.
That was a lot of walking.
It was a lot of walking.
It was cold too. It was like around November.
Uh-huh.
But after that, I don't know what happened. I don't remember exactly what happened with this.
With what? With that day?
No, after where we stopped hanging out with them. I don't know why we just randomly stopped hanging out with them.
I think you got in an argument with Lenny, and then I got with a little argument.
I think I got in an argument with her because I think I was still being depressed over. I said her name, right?
You said her.
Yeah,
name.
I said okay. Oh, I was trying to think of if I got permission to say her name and past things.
You have.
So I was still getting depressed over Chloe. So I think she just got annoyed at one point, and she started being like, bro, come on, just get over. And I just got kind of triggered about it, and I just told her to fuck off. And
she kept asking me about you a bit later, and that's how I got annoyed.
Yeah.
And that's how I started fighting with her. Because the only time she would
should we talk about how you ended talking to her, or should we just not bring that up? What you said to her?
No. Moving on. You were
in short, Will said something about her mom. I'm not going to say what he said, but he said something about her mom.
I didn't say shit.
You showed me the text.
Did I?
Yeah.
Moving on.
But yeah, so we stopped hanging out with them, and
during this time, he was driving me to and from school.
Yeah, I was.
One day after school, we drove to Acme, right next door to the school. And he went inside. I decided to stay inside. Right? This is how I'm bridging the gap. He went inside and met two people that were in his class. Paige and Dan.
I forgot that even happened.
Yeah, boy.
I was pulled out of school at that point, but I had talked to them past because I had a class with Paige.
Uh-huh.
I think we could say their name.
Yeah, they're pretty generic names.
So I
no offense.
Yeah, we know a bunch of pages. I know at least 3 pages. Yeah. So it's like, but
And there's only 2 Dans in our life, so
Yeah.
we're fine.
So I knew Paige that I had class with, and then I knew Dan because he was friends with me and Will's mutual friend before. The girl you had French with Smooth Girl and
okay.
So I knew them. Me and Dan, we didn't even know each other, but since I would walk with this one girl that me and Will knew, because I think we had like the last class together. I was
bro, I don't know who you're talking about, honestly. Me and you both knew at the end of the class? Who?
No, we didn't have the class. I knew her, but we both knew her.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, right. Can you hear me cussing?
I don't think he cares. He's heard the first 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But
Maybe a little self-conscious about cussing now. Jesus.
So we met. I would walk with her, and then he was friends with her, so he would just randomly come in. And as a joke, me and him started acting gay with each other, and we would just walk around the hall at the end of the day. You weren't part of that.
Okay, I was confused who you were talking about, but
we were friends at this point, but we didn't see each other until like after we got on the bus, or we would find each other in the lobby at one point. So
I would sneak behind him and unclip his backpack.
Yeah. So okay, back to the Acme thing.
So, I'm telling the story. I wasn't there, so I didn't feel like going in. So I just stayed outside listening to my music. He went inside. It took a long ass time, may I add. It was fucking hot, but he just
probably talking to them too.
You were talking to them, and then
I rolled the windows down for you at least.
Fuck you. He randomly comes back like an hour later. We leave and we see them on their way out. I'm gonna note. Paige had a dope ass hat on, and Dan had a nice beanie on. One of them was Nightmare Before Christmas one, Jack Skeleton. I don't remember what the hat was. I think it was Pokemon.
I think Paige's hat was a flat brim with the Nightmare Before Christmas Jack Skeleton, and then Dan's beanie, I think it was just a red beanie.
It was just a red beanie. Okay.
But I think I was also kind of friends with Dan too, because there was one day he wore like the first Misfits hoodie that they ever made. Mm-hmm. And it was like when I still was up to date with the Misfits podcast, so I like was aware of them, and I thought it was pretty cool that he had.
I've seen the hoodie. Yeah.
It was the 420 hoodie. It was the 420 drop, bro. But so like I kind of like became like acquaintances with him, but then we saw him at Acme, or I saw him at Acme, and I started talking to him, and I got like their Snapchats and all, and I kind of became friends with them, and at one point, me and Will were just still doing our Tuesday, Thursday thing. I think we maybe cut back to just Thursday, but then we started getting bored because we're doing what we do now, and we just drive around and get food.
Somehow we don't get bored of it now, but whatever.
You know, well,
now we're just old and don't feel like doing anything.
Now we do very boring stuff, like go to Barnes & Noble.
That's not boring. That's educational. Knowledge is
right,
power.
You're right.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
So we start hanging out with them, and we're like, hey, you want to go to explore an abandoned place with us? I think at this point it was probably around January. It wasn't hot. You were probably cold. Because it was like January.
I was probably just cold. I get cold so easily. I'm cold now.
But, so it was around January, and there was a nice day, and Paige was like, hey, I know this abandoned spot. Let's go here. At this point, I had already heard about the spot, but I haven't gone there because I heard about there's like security there, and I didn't know what the security detail was like.
Nice.
So she was like, yeah, I know the spot. Trust me, there's the security. The worst thing, if they catch you, they'll just ask you to leave. They're not going to like try to press charges or anything. I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it. So she takes us to this place. This
was after Port Depot.
No.
Really? Jesus. All right, moving on.
It was one of those nights in January. It's like 60 or 70.
We went there before Port Depot. What the fuck?
This was the first time we hung out with Paige.
Jesus.
It was just you, me, and Paige. Or no.
And Dan.
Yeah, Dan was there. So we all went to this place, Forest Haven.
I'm mind fucked right now. What the hell?
While we were at Forest Haven, we ran into some other people. We'll start with the first one we ran into. We ran into this small SoundCloud rapper.
He wasn't first.
Yeah.
He wasn't first.
Yes, he was.
Really? What the hell? He was first. Okay.
I'll continue.
Me and Paige left before you guys met him. So can I go into that?
No, we all met him together when we first got there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
You and Dan met him separately.
No.
Really? What the fuck?
Do you want me to tell you what happened?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So we walk into like this main area. It's like a little basketball court. And the whole time over there, we heard like someone like yelling and all. Mm-hmm. So we go look around and we go into this building and we see this guy tied up in a chair.
Mm.
After this is when we separated. So we all go there and we meet this small SoundCloud rapper. I don't know if it counts as like a SoundCloud rapper. He's like makes like underground music like that, like it's not even screamo, where it's like you make your voice sound like a demon and you like kind of like rap. I don't know how to explain it.
Corpse but less cool.
Yes, corpse but less cool.
Sorry, Down Wolf, but
like corn.
What the fuck?
But so we met him. And they were recording a music video.
So you, with your little camera obsession, stayed to watch them.
No.
Yeah, what? Yes.
No, that's not what happened.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. So I didn't bring my camera because I didn't know what the security situation was like, and I wasn't trying to run with my camera.
Mm-hmm.
So after we meet these guys, we walk down and we leave the building that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go back and get my camera. I don't think Dan was here with this one. I don't think Dan was here with this trip.
No, he wasn't.
No,
he wasn't.
So Will and Paige go off and do their own thing. Mind you, don't everybody think that they went to go hook up. Paige is a lesbian. We didn't bring that up yet.
I think you've mentioned multiple times that I am still a fucking virgin, you fucking idiot. I think you said like...
Well, for all
twice.
Well, okay. Listen, it could have been that thing.
But let's move on.
Where you say you're a virgin when you're really not, and everybody's gonna be like, bro, how did Jax not notice this? They probably just went out. No. Paige is a very, very, very much a lesbian, and she looked like one too.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I think she's in like the Air Force now.
Really?
I think on her story I saw her flying a plane.
Really?
In like military gear.
Jesus.
She seems like it. She's a badass.
Yeah, she wore combat boots like every time we hung out.
We have nothing really bad about Paige. Just at one point we'll
save it.
So
me and Paige go to the adjacent building right next.
Okay, I'll let you tell your side of this story.
Finally, Jesus. So me and Paige was like watching Jack talk to these people making this music video. And we're like, this is kind of boring. Do you just want to go off and go look around for a little bit? We won't go too far, but let's just leave these guys. She was like, yeah, sure. So we hop off this ledge we're sitting on. We go inside, and we're just exploring upstairs, top building. We're both delinquents, so I'm like breaking shit. And I turn around, and I just see something through like 2-3 layers of glass. I'm like, Paige, come here. Paige, come here. What the fuck is that? She looks over and like, is that a person?
I've never heard this part of the story. I want to hear this.
I'm asking her that. You see a person tied up in a chair too, right? And she's like, yeah. Like, what the fuck? So me and her like
we already met them at this point though.
We met the two guys. Then, right? There was a third person there that we didn't meet yet. So those two guys left with, I assume, you, right?
I think you're off the story.
No, me and Paige leave. We go to the building that you guys were in. We go upstairs and we see this goth chick just chilling in a chair on her phone. And we're like, what the fuck is happening? He was like, yeah, I'm part of the crew with those two guys. I'm just sitting here watching the gear. It was like just like hella shit laying around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just leave and just go back to you and just tell you like, yo.
So I went back and I went to go grab my camera from my car. So I walked back to my car, and while I was there, I saw another car just sitting there with their windows down. I'm like, well, that's kind of sketchy. I'm either gonna get shot or it's gonna be some really nice people. So I went up to them. I was like, hey. They're like, yeah. Do you They're like stuttering, and I'm like, are you looking for the abandoned place? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I got you. Give me 1 second. Let me just grab my camera. It's just like a group of 3 of them. They were all just like, they were streamers from like DC, and so I was like, Will's using the bathroom right now. He's just dancing his way out. He's dancing up the stairs. So yeah, so I met with them, and I grabbed my camera and I walked them back to everything, and I was just kind of hanging out with them. And yeah, about this time is when I met back up with Will and Paige after searching them for a little bit, and yeah, pretty much how it is. Give us like 0.5 seconds. I'm just gonna wait till Will gets back to the bathroom because this part of the story is him included. So Will has come back and he's deciding that he wants to stand.
Yeah. I was gonna leave quietly without interruptions so you can continue your story. But no.
There wasn't much to talk about between going to my car and coming back.
Oh, so you already come back?
I came back like 10 minutes ago.
Okay. I heard there's a new Pokemon game that's coming out.
We're not getting on Sword and Shield 2.
It's Pokemon Crimson and Violet or something like that. Oh no.
Okay, so yeah, we explored this place. We hung out with these other guys for a little bit, kind of just walked around, explored.
Tunnel. We found a tunnel.
I was just about to get there.
It's like great tunnel.
We found a little tunnel it was just like in the middle of the area, and you would just crawl down this ladder and then go through this tunnel, and then you would come out at the bottom of this building.
No one knew where it went, so of course I went first.
Yep, and then everyone else followed behind. He's like, oh, well, he's not dead, so we'll just keep going. Yeah. After that,
I always go first.
Yeah. Hey, get closer to the mic if you're gonna stand up at least.
I am close to the microphone.
You just moved back.
I know.
Well, this isn't gonna be a boring episode if you keep fucking around.
Move on. Let's go.
Do you want to ride home?
Let's go. Let's keep with the fucking episode.
So after this, we started hanging out with Dan and Paige. Every once now, we started doing the weekly thing. Other than I think every other Thursday, Paige couldn't go because she had to work. Adulting things, God.
Adulting things.
And so yeah, we went back to the abandoned school with them one time.
This is the fun part. Keep on. I'll interrupt when I want to tell my.
I think you're thinking about a wrong part.
No, I'm not. This is the first time we went with them.
So we went to the school. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'll sit down for this part.
So we went to the school and we went up the path and all. We did our normal exploring. Nothing too big happened on the trip. On the way back, the school is very elevated. It's pretty much on a cliff, and we're gonna go down the normal way. And
me and Paige are like, fuck that, bro. We're gonna climb down this fucking mountain. So we get to the edge and look down, and we can see the car from where we are. We're like, we got it. We're both wearing shoes we don't give a fuck about. Well, I mean, she's wearing combat boots, so nothing much you can do about those.
How do we not know she was going to go into the military? Combat boots? I mean, come on. Lesbian combat boots.
I mean, everyone wears combat boots. But, yeah, fair enough. She's always wearing, like, tactical gear, like the headlamp she brings.
Yeah, honestly, I think we should have saw that one coming.
We should have saw that one coming.
Continue that.
But moving on, we're like, fuck it, bro. We're Narutoing this thing. We slide down the mountain, right? It gets a little steep. The ground's not stiff at all, so we just like slide down. I fall, right? We both fall. I hit a tree. She hits a tree. I'm like, that's fun. Can't turn back now. It's too steep to climb back up. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I see this another tree that if I just slide down, I could make it
After. Sorry, I just got an email about it.
So I try to slide this one tree. So I slide down. Midway through, my Vans slip. Right, they slip and I go the wrong way.
Okay, let me cut you off real quick. At this point, they're maybe about like halfway down this cliff.
Halfway.
And we're already at the bottom of the cliff just looking up at that, thinking like, what the fuck is happening?
She's behind me just watching what happens. And I fuck up. And I end up getting stuck under a tree with his broken branches digging into my chest. I'm like, oh, fuck, this sucks. She's watching and laughing her ass off. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. Just come down. Now you come down here. So she makes it to the tree I try to get to. And I'm like, yo, Paige, can you maybe help me out a little bit here? And he's like, yeah, I could do that. So I try to squeeze under this fucking branch. I finally am able to. I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to send it all the way down. So I slide until I get to the bushy area separating separating us from the road. Hella fucking thorns in there, may I add. So I just like run through and just get serrated, bro. Oh my, it was so painful. Later that night, I just like, there's like a giant like gash mark on my leg. I'm like, that kind of hurts, but this is a funny story. She makes it through, no problem.
Of course. So after this, we kept hanging out with them, but at one point, it kind of got boring with just me, Will, and Dan whenever Paige would go. So we started thinking about expanding the group a little bit. So
that was our mistake.
I think that's where the downfall started.
That's where our mistake was.
But so we had these other friends, Tony and Off-Brand.
Bro.
Tony and Off-Brand at this point were kind of like talking.
No, so
almost dating.
I'll talk about that.
Okay,
so, I decided let's bring Tony in. That's not his name. That's the nickname. So I'm like, yo, I know this guy that lives near us in our route. So I'm like, I'll talk to him. I go to Tony. I'm like, yo, Tony, we haven't been talking a lot, but this is a pretty cool idea. You should hop on. And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't do too much. I'll join. And I don't know if it was him or you who brought in.
I think I started talking to Off-Brand, like trying to get her to come earlier, and she didn't want to. No, she came before Tony did.
She did come before Tony did.
Because remember we went to Walmart that one time? We took her to. I think she was at Port Deposit that time you guys were doing the cliff. Because I swear there was one other person down with me and Dan. I think she came with us on that one. Because then we went to Walmart after and I hit a Paige with my car on accident. And she was with us!
That was before we went there because I went to go grab the knife. Remember that?
No, it was after because we got food. We never got food before we did our stuff. Because we wanted to make sure we got our actual fun in before we worried about food.
Really? What the hell? No, it was before because Paige. We went to Walmart before that. Paige bought me a knife. Then we went to.
No, that was after.
I swear.
No, it was after. Trust me.
Whatever.
So I guess Off-Brand was there.
Insert Off-Brand. She's half Mexican.
So we'll call her Off-Brand Mexican.
Well, her name's Garcia. I'm not gonna call her Off-Brand anymore. I feel like it's too far. I think she hates me now.
She removed me off everything.
That's what it is.
I don't know what happened. She just it was random too. It's not like we got in like an argument or anything. We just weren't talking for
She moved on. So Garcia was in the group. I decided to bring Tony in. Tony had a girlfriend at this point. I was friends with his girlfriend.
Whoa. I think we should talk about when I hit Paige with the car first, just so we can touch on that real quick, since that was on that trip. Just a real quick. After the Port Deposit thing, we went to Chick-fil-A and then we went to Walmart because Will wanted a knife. And while they were getting out of the car, I thought that everyone was completely out of the car. I just didn't even think to check, and I started moving my car forward, and I hit Paige with my car slightly.
You hit her. You hit the heel of her foot.
I think she hit it with the door.
Fall. No, I watched.
No, I think it was the door because there's no. Why would she have gone in front of my car? She was sitting in the front seat.
Mm-hmm. You didn't hit it with the you hit
I
it
think
with the wheel of the back.
the door was still open and she was behind the door like this way, about to close it, and I started moving forward and it hit her. Either way, I hit Paige with my car. It was kind of funny. I don't think she got too injured, so I think we were good.
Nah.
But yeah, so then they went in and got a knife. While they were in, Garcia kept trying to get me and Dan to kiss each other, and we wouldn't do it. I don't.
Sounds about right.
It was.
I remember that.
It was fun in the car though, because it was funny. But yeah.
Yeah, because you three are like fucking love triangles.
Back to bringing Tony back.
So with adding Tony into the love triangle that is Dan, Paige. I mean Dan, Jack, and Garcia. Tony, his cheating ass, hopped in, having a girlfriend that I was friends with, and I don't want to talk about Diner.
Yes, we have to. It's part of the story.
Okay.
We won't get into super big detail, but we still have to touch on that just a little bit.
Okay, so
it's not that bad. I think everybody.
It's not that bad.
I think everybody who smokes has had it happen.
I know it's not that bad, but I just don't like it.
We're gonna hop into it. So one night I decided. Oh, hold on. Let's cut it back. Let's bring it back a little bit.
Let me bring it up. So
no, we have to get to the point where we got there. Then you can talk about your whole experience.
I wasn't gonna talk about my whole experience, but go on.
Maybe it was. Could it have been laced? No.
I doubt it.
Okay. But so I think there was like one.
No, I think I just smoked too much.
Yeah, I think there was one time where we, during the day, I think it was just me and Will, we were driving around and we found this abandoned diner. And we just drove around back and we found out it's pretty easy to get into. So we bring this on like probably like a few days later or like a week later. And we're like, hey, we should all go here.
Let's bring this fucking squad.
Let's bring the squad and let's go.
Was Paige there?
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Because that would be too many people in my car.
I would have had a much better time if she was there, I'm sure.
Yeah, so it was you, me, Dan, Tony, and Garcia. Yeah, that's my full car.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely she wasn't there. So, well, no, she was there. Yes, she was, because they drove separately. We never went to pick up Dan. We've dropped Dan off before, but we never picked. We met them there.
Jesus Christ. How did Paige get there?
She drove herself. She drove her. And
no,
Dan.
You're right.
Okay. Either
Paige
way, honestly, Paige isn't a big part of this part of the story.
She isn't.
She was there, and I was kind of just there.
We were all just there, and Tony and Garcia were
were like
there together.
Going off alone. They weren't like fucking, but they were definitely making out.
So we got there pretty early. The sun was still up, so we were just fucking around. There was a whole ass bar there, no alcohol, just the glasses.
Yeah.
So we were just fucking around throwing them, and we're
the salt shaker.
Yeah, there was a salt shaker still there,
and they still had salt in them, but the salt had like all combined together, so they were just like little rocks.
We were just chucking them at each other.
No. You were chucking it at me.
We were chucking them at him.
And I decided to order pizza at this point, so I went to go pick up the pizza. I don't think everybody came. I think it was...
No, I didn't go.
I think it was just you, me... No, it was me, Brooke, and Tony. No. I think it was me, Brooke, and you.
And me. When did we start smoking? We started smoking pretty early. If I was smoking, I didn't go. I was smoking.
No, we started smoking later. It was dark by the time you guys started smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, huh? Because I remember you guys were hiding in the closet.
No, we were smoking in that big area. And
let's just... I know Brooke was definitely with me.
Okay.
So let's just say me and Brooke and maybe one... There's definitely one other person there. I don't remember who it was.
It was probably Tony.
I don't know. I feel like Tony stayed behind with Dan.
Well, I'm sure it was Tony.
It definitely wasn't Paige.
I'm sure it was
I don't know.
Tony.
Either way, we went to go pick up pizza. I brought pizza back. We were all eating pizza. And Will and Dan
started
smoking.
Oh man,
A lot.
yeah,
A lot. Will was having fun for a little bit.
I usually smoke out of bowls, but he brought this joint, this pretty nice joint, heavily packed in there. So he offered me some. We're smoking.
Maybe it was just like hardcore sativa, and you just weren't used to it at that point.
So
you were, like, consistently smoking.
let's shut up. So we were all smoking as always. So we were like inside. So Jackson bought a speaker. We were all jamming out. It was me and Dan sitting on the table smoking. It was Tony and Garcia in another room sitting on a couch.
Probably making out. We don't really know all the details. They definitely weren't fucking.
It was. I'll talk about my interactions with them. It was you and Paige eating pizza next to the speaker, chilling, right?
Yeah. Now that I remember, Paige was definitely there.
Yeah, she was there. So we smoked, and Dan's like, all right, let's put the joint away. We'll save it for a bit later. I'm like, solid plan.
That's probably when you guys were in the closet at one point.
So
you guys were definitely in a closet at one point. The door wasn't shut, but you guys were smoking in the closet.
Okay. I don't remember that.
That I vividly remember.
Okay. I'm an introvert, so while they're all jamming, I'm just going around exploring the rest of the building. I find this earbuds. No, not yet. I go in. This was when you left. When you left, I didn't go. I did not go.
Okay.
I found an attic, and I hid there for a very long time. And you all tried to find me. Remember?
Yeah, I came back. I was like,
Where's
Will? And they're like, I don't know. We haven't seen him in a few minutes. I'm like, bro, how the fuck do you lose Will?
How do you lose Will?
It's a small building. How do you lose Will?
So I was just hiding. And
so, okay, maybe
I come out.
Maybe me, Dan, and Paige. No, it was me, Dan, and Brooke. I think went to go get pizza, and I think you, Tony, and Dan stayed back.
You just said Dan. What?
I know. I realized that. I think you, Dan, and Tony stayed back, and the rest of us went.
Smooth. So I went to the closet, into the attic. I came down, right? Fast forward to when we put the joint away. I was like, all right, I'll go wander again. I went to the entrance of the building just by myself, just to look around and be alone, because I need my alone time, right? I'm like, wow, this is the dope-ass window. So I'm just looking outside, looking at the traffic, because it's right next to the highway. So I'm just chilling there. And I'm like, oh, okay. I put my earbuds in, put on some NF. I'm just jamming in there, and these weren't noise cancellation earbuds, so I just hear them looking for me. I'm like, let's turn the volume higher, so I don't hear them. So I'm just chilling there, and then they finally open the door, and they see me. I'm like, hey, what's up? I was just listening to music, chilling out. I'm like, oh, okay, just want to make sure you weren't dead.
Basic Will stuff.
So they leave. I stay there for like a bit longer, and I leave, right? And that's when it started, right? I stopped talking. Period. Earbuds in. Right. I open the door into a new dimension. What I see is a light from a phone, right, next to the bar in the main area. Jack, Dan, and Paige are there, and directly in front of me, there is a couch there, and since we got there, Tony and Garcia have not moved. So I'm like, they're closer. I'm gonna go to them. So I'm there, and I sit crisscross applesauce in front of the couch. Wow, Tony's getting handsy. I'm just sitting there, earbuds in and hood up. I don't know if they know, but I'm like, okay, phone inside my big pocket. I just turn it down, just hear what they're saying, and they're just looking at me like, Will, you good? Will, can you hear us? I'm just staring.
At one point, you walk away from them.
Yeah, I just get up and walk away because I know what's happening now. I'm like, because like the whole time I was like, Tony, why are you here? specifically because he wasn't really in the group ever, right? He was just there for Brooke, and at this point, I just knew why he was there. I was like, sigh. All right, I get up. I struggle to get up because I didn't feel like taking my hands out of my pocket, so I get up with just struggling. I'm like, yeah, you guys can probably imagine how hard it was. But I leave, go to the other side of the diner, where
all of us are with our pizza.
No, farther down.
When do you get with all of us and you sit in the booth?
Later.
Okay, continue.
But I go down there chilling, and I just see this figure walking around. This was when you start before you guys started yelling at her. But I see Brooke alone with her flashlight out, just shining it around. I'm like, okay, whatever. She walks around, and then she gets to me. She's like, "Hey, Will, what are you doing?" And I'm not gonna tell you what I was doing. But I was just chilling there with my lighter, just flicking it.
You just go.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I handed her a plate. I was like, "Here you go." She's like, "Okay, whatever." Fucking weirdo. She leaves to go with you guys. I'm like, all right, fine. Now I'll go back. And then finally, Tony's with you guys. I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's here. I guess I might as well just stay. And so Dan thinks it's the perfect time to bring out the rest of the joints. Like, let's smoke up. I'm like, sure. Shaking starts. I remember this vividly. When he hands me the joint, my hand shaking. Someone commented on it that time, but no one really stopped me from smoking, which is, I don't care. So I start smoking. We start smoking, and then a few minutes pass. My earbuds are still in, right? He just handed me the joint because you guys know that I'm not talking here either, because Dan started yelling at me about some noise. Remember that? Mm-hmm. It was me, but I didn't tell him it was me until he got like really pissed off. I'm like, yeah, it was me, because I didn't hear him. I understood what he meant when I turned my music down, and I was like, it was me. Not saying anything, of course, but we smoked, we chilled out. These guys are in. Music's up again. Then this is when it goes blurry, because then I sit in the booth, and then it happened.
So Wilson in this booth, we see him come in, and he sits down, and he's there for a while. We're all just kind of talking. And after a little bit, we notice he's just staring out into space. We go over there. He's kind of sitting there listening to music. He has like tears in his eyes, and he's just rocking back and forth. And we're like, Will? And you're just staring into space. Will? Nothing. So we're like, okay, guys, let's pack up and go. So we get Will. We walk him to the car. Wait, now I'm just confused. No, never mind. I figured it out. Mm-hmm. So we walk to the car, and I think Dan and Paige leave.
Oh, hold on. In the middle of I don't know why, but I was just texting Mary random shit.
You weren't texting Mary.
I was texting Mary.
Mm-mm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-mm. I know who you're texting.
Mm-mm. I was texting Mary. About some random shit. I texted
Maybe.
her.
Okay. But
I texted her, but she never responded.
Okay, listen. This is... Remember, we're cutting out her name anyway, so...
Yeah. All right, whatever.
So, we get in the car. I think Dan and Paige, they leave, because it's just you, me, Garcia, and Tony. We start driving, and we pull off on this back road just to stop and see if we can chill you out. And... I'm just really fucking confused, and you're just sitting there silent still. So I hop out of the car for a second to call someone.
To this day, I don't know why you called her specifically.
I will tell you right now. So I called this girl that Will liked at this time.
At the time, I don't anymore.
Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, so and so."
Before he tells that, I don't really like showing emotion. Sadness and anger specifically, I don't really like. It's not my thing. So that's why I didn't want to talk about this, right? I don't really like it when people see me cry. It's really weird for me, and I don't like it at all. So when he gets out of the car and calls this girl that I like and tell her, yo, you're your friend's crying and shit, and I'm like,
I didn't say you were crying.
right,
I said I was talking to her. I was like, hey,
man's down bad.
I think
Help me help him.
I think Will is having a bad trip. Could you just like text him and just see if you can just calm him down by texting him? And I think at that point, I don't know if you responded or not, but she definitely did text you because I remember seeing your phone light up after I said something. And I don't know what happened after that. After that, Will's mom called him a little bit later, and he talked to her. So when he started talking to her, we're like, okay, maybe he's chilled out a little bit. We bring Will home. No, we bring Dan. Wait.
No, you bring me home first.
We bring Tony and Garcia home.
Uh-huh.
And then
Yeah.
no, because I definitely had Dan there because I remember him talking about jerking off and taking cold showers.
Yeah.
So maybe we got Paige to bring Garcia and Tony home, and it was you, me, and Dan in the car.
I don't think so. No,
because we didn't bring Garcia home. I knew that for a fact.
you're right.
Because we definitely brought Dan home. I knew that for
Garcia was in the car. Garcia was in the car.
No, she wasn't in the car at that point.
She was.
No, she wasn't.
She was.
No, she wasn't. I knew for a fact she wasn't. I think Paige took Tony and Garcia home so we could get you home faster and not have to drop that many people off. But then we were asking if you were good, and you slowly started to talk a little bit. So we brought Dan home first. And the way it's Dan was telling you, bro, take a cold shower. And he's like, bro, jerking off will also help you get rid of this high. That happened.
Yeah, that did
and then
happen.
I brought you home.
And then you brought me home.
After this, we all decided that we shouldn't hang out with Tony and Garcia together because it's weird and awkward.
Yeah.
So we started taking turns hanging out with them. And I think at one point, Garcia just couldn't hang out, so we just invited Tony.
No, what happened was with that is that back to me. Next day, I wasn't feeling too good still, right? So I was like, because I knew what happened, right? I was just like still processing it. I was like, what happened and why, right?
I honestly think at that point you weren't smoking consistently, and Dan had been smoking consistently. I think you probably smoked like some sativa, and you just weren't used to it at that point, and that's why you got so fucked up. And you smoked a lot, and it probably was maybe not sativa, but it was like some like heavy strain that you just weren't used to.
Well, it might not have been that. Well, for one, it was a lot of weed. Two, this was like peak depressed Will, right? So that was definitely a big part of that. Peak. Jesus Christ. I remember the music I was listening to that night. That some like depressed Will shit, man.
I noticed when I took your phone.
I bet you did.
I was looking at it. Most of it was NF, but there's some other songs. I don't remember what else it was, but most of it was NF.
Like all NF, like all bangers, because I was like, I just want loud, right? But it was like a lot of depressing shit after that. But yesterday I was just like in limbo, sort of. I didn't pay attention to that shit, bro. Earbuds in all the day.
I think you had data at this point though, because I remember texting you asking if you were good.
Yeah, I did. This was the my last phone. I had that. Yeah. So I was just chilling there. I remember going into computer class. I don't know the name of it, but she was in there. I had Garcia in that class, and the girl I texted in that class, right? Mary. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to edit out, but I don't know what else to call her.
Mary's a popular name. I'm not gonna edit it out.
Fair,
I'm too lazy to do it.
All right, Mary was there, and she was just like, "You good, dude?" I'm like,
"You showed me some weird text last night."
I was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Don't worry about it. And
don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it.
I didn't feel like talking, so I was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." I just earbuds in and looked away. Brooke was there, and she's like,
"Bro,
you good?"
Garcia.
Yeah,
That one I'm actually gonna
that
cut out.
yeah, because both
Because now we both said our first and last name.
Garcia was there. Garcia was there, and she was like, "You good, man?" I'm like, "Yes,
Fine.
yes,
Fine. Fuck off. Don't talk to me."
yes, I'm fine. Yes, I'm fine." And I don't know. It was that day. I was talking to Mary. You're not gonna enter now, right? I was talking to Mary, and we were talking about that night because she was being a little pushy. She was being pushy. Jesus Christ. And
I think she was just being pushy because she was worried, though. I don't think it was like
yeah. Respect the grind.
because she like would she actually cared about us and would like text us if we seemed off or anything.
Empath. I mentioned who was there with us, and I mentioned Tony's name, which was a mistake.
Dun, 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 dun.
Because she's friends with Tony's girlfriend
At the time.
I think they're still dating.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. She has issues. She has issues.
She's friends with her, and I
was she friends
slip
with your
up.
sister, wasn't she?
She was friends with my sister, yes, and that's why I didn't feel bad. Didn't feel bad about this. So I just randomly say that Tony was there, being a little touchy with Miss Garcia over here, and he's like, I swear he's dating so and so.
He is.
I'm like, yeah, news to me, man. I remember that night or a couple nights prior, Tony was like, hey, don't tell my girlfriend that I'm with you guys with her. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not gonna say shit.
And we think fuckboy's a fuckboy.
I'm not gonna say shit. So that day I slip up, say that. Mary goes to his girlfriend, rats him out, and during lunch, Tony just gets real aggressive with me. He's like, bro, why'd you tell her? It's like, bro, I didn't.
We still hung out with him after that, though.
I have no idea. I was
I know we did. Because there's one more story that I have to tell with him.
Oh, right. I'm like, yeah, man, I didn't say shit to her. And he's like, bro, well, she knows. And I'm like, fuck, Mary, why?
Yeah. I didn't say shit to her.
I did.
I got someone to do it for you.
But when I realized what had happened, I was like, oh, I told a friend. He asked me who the friend was, but I was like, I'm not going to say shit. I was like, bro, I didn't tell her. I'm sorry, but listen, all right?
Listen.
Garcia's my friend. Your girlfriend's my friend. I don't feel bad. I really do not feel bad. And he was like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're the fuck with both of these people. And so he's, I guess, not in hot water because they're still dating.
Yeah.
So he's fine. He calms down because Dan's right next to me, like defending me as well. Mm-hmm. Respect to Dan because he also thinks the same way. He told me. I wonder
how he's doing.
He told me I wasn't gonna snitch, but I wasn't gonna help him lie either because he was also friends with both of them.
Yeah.
We're all like, Anthony's in the.
I don't want to have to edit out everybody's names. Tony is in the wrong. Give me 1 second.
So Tony was in the wrong.
Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, I had to use the bathroom and I was about to pee myself, so I had to pause recording.
So Tony was in the wrong. Dan helped me get out of whatever. I was probably gonna get beat up. I don't really care. So we move on. Anthony shuts the fuck up.
Bro, I don't want to keep cutting out his name.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we're just gonna finish that up. So I think at one point it got settled, and I think Dan probably talked to Tony a little bit just to calm him down. And I think we hung out with him like one more time. So we all went back to Port Deposit, and we were. Why are you still laughing about this?
No, because I was about to say his name too. We go back to Port Deposit. Me, you, Dan, Tony, and say her name or not.
We're gonna say Dara. But yeah,
And Dara.
this was the same one. Yeah.
Okay. And Dara. Before when Jack texted me about this, I'm like, I want to bring some flammables, some lighters, some papier. And he's like, sure. I'm like, okay. In the group chat, I was like, bring something to burn, guys. I want to burn some shit. No one brings stuff, but I come with a full bag of just my homework. My homework and just random paper. I didn't bring my book because I wasn't gonna burn that. Knowledge is power. So we go there. We go up. We show them around, but not too much because we get there when it's light out, right? No? Okay. So we get there. We go to the same building we always go to. We go up. And it was like sunset. That's when you took the picture of me on the ledge, right?
Wait, we're missing something. No, that was a different time. We're missing a story in between there.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, go on.
So, backtrack from Port Deposit.
You should probably like edit this in front of that and
No. We're just gonna. It's.
We're
scuffed.
just gonna.
We're almost normal.
Yeah.
It's scuffed. So
Season 2 will be better.
Season 2 will be better.
We'll script it.
You can see our faces, but no. Before that, I found out this other abandoned place. It was an abandoned hospital. I'm saying this because Garcia and Tony were still hanging out together. Because remember, it was you, me, and those two that went to the hospital together.
Mm-hmm.
But this will make more sense. So I found this hospital, and I'm like, I asked everybody if they want to go. Dan and Paige decided they didn't want to go, and
Respectfully.
And they decided that they were just going to go to Crybaby Bridge that we brought up earlier.
Right,
and smoke.
Right,
this is where a little bit of tension starts to come because they're starting to want to smoke like every time we go to abandoned place. And
too.
I know, but you are too, but you're still trying to explore and do stuff. They just want to sit around and smoke. It's the very like stereotypical stoner where they're lazy and don't want to do anything. And this starts to get on my nerves because I want to actually go do stuff and enjoy our lives and not just sit around and smoke all day. Especially since I get stuck having to drive, and since I've never smoked, I don't know how it's going to affect me. So I started getting annoyed with them, but we bring Tony and Garcia on this one, and we go to this abandoned hospital. At one point, I think they're just being flirty again, even though earlier, I think it was probably a day earlier is when Will and all had was having like the argument with them. So I'm like very nonchalantly, hey Will, you want to go explore like the basement with me? And they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm too scared to do that. We're like, okay, that's fine. You guys can just stay up here and hang out. And we go on our own and explore. Thankfully. And then I think we talked shit about them the whole time we were down there too.
Oh, I did for sure. I did.
Yeah, but we pretty much explored the basement by ourselves while they were alone by themselves. Dude, I don't even want to know what they did.
I don't know. I don't want to either, honestly.
Honestly, though, I don't think they did. But if they fucked, that'd be a cool fuck story. We fucked in an abandoned hospital.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. But it's a good fuck story. But so we explored. I don't think anything big happened. I think we just explored the one building, and yeah. So at this point, tension has already started between me, Dan, and Paige because I think I was just calling them boring and shit, and it just got on their nerves. And then there's the whole Garcia and Tony thing that is getting on everyone's nerves.
Me and Dan specifically.
Yeah. So after we go to this abandoned hospital, I think we probably take like a week break from each other just so we're not all annoying each other. I think you and me still hung out Tuesday and Thursday, but I think all together we just took a little breather, and we all decided to go to Port Deposit together. It was Garcia couldn't come, so I think it was just me, Tony, Dara, Will, Dan. Was Dan there?
I don't think Dan was there.
No, I think. Actually, yeah, I think that. I think.
That was a squad.
Yeah, because I think after that point,
Dan
I just dropped Dan and Paige.
Yeah.
So we went there. We didn't do much. We walked around. We didn't go in any other buildings, but we walked around more than we did in the past. And
I went to the buildings. I left them for the longest bit.
Yeah.
I always leave them.
I don't think it was that point. I think we were already. No, you and Tony went together, and I hung out with Dara.
Okay.
But in between all this, at one point, I don't remember when it happened, but me, Will, Dan, and Paige, and I think Garcia, and Garcia, we all went to Port Deposit during the day one day. The only reason I'm not really bringing this up right now is because it wasn't very eventful. We explored more of the buildings and we took some pictures. Will went on his own, but that's nothing else really happened. But so we explored. At one point, we went back to the main building. Everyone met up together, and we I think me and Dara walked in, and you guys had already started a little fire.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I know that sounds bad. We started a fire in an abandoned building. Number one, the building didn't have a roof, and there was literally like a fire pit already up there. So like
arson, but not arson.
Nothing else caught on fire. It was contained. It was a little campfire.
I'm a pyrotechnic professional.
But you brought up the sunset picture. I just want to bring that up. That was when we went during the day that one time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, so we had a tiny little fire. It was very vibey. And then I don't think anything else really happened after that.
We sat down, sang some songs.
We didn't sing songs.
We sacrificed a lamb.
I think no, Dan was there.
Dan
was there.
I say we sacrificed.
I know. I processed that.
Okay.
Dan was there.
I doubt he was.
No, we were because me and Dan were singing the campfire song from SpongeBob together.
This is chaotic.
Yeah, but that happened, and I think that was probably the last time that everyone hung out together.
Yeah, nice little burial.
So,
by the campfire.
Yeah. So, like a month or
very symbolic. I burned the group down.
Okay. But I think it was probably like a month later, I got back in touch with Lenny, and I was like, I think I apologized. I was just checking to see how she was doing, because I think at this point she was not, when we were still hanging out with her, she wasn't in the best mental state. So I just wanted to check in on her just to see how she was doing. We started talking again, and I think I was like, hey, we should hang out again. This was at the end of February of 2020. This is getting to the end of our story.
This was the first and last time we hung out with them, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
So
nice.
We invited them, and it was the one guy who was like,
first of all, this man added me to a group chat. Before I could say anything, he posted like 3 memes saying, we all didn't like each other, but let's ignore the past and move on.
Yes.
And look towards the future. And I just like left it immediately and texted Jack like, this is not a good idea. He ignored me. I was like, go off. So okay.
And then I added you back. We started talking again.
You didn't add me back. I just, I was already in.
Okay. Well, you said you left, so
I swiped.
Oh.
And then went to the private chat.
So we started talking, and then they convinced Will to want to come because they included the marijuana. So that whole day, we planned to hang out and just go drive around. And towards midday, I was like, maybe this isn't a good idea. I don't know. I'm not really feeling this. And they're like, nah, it's all good. Come on. We won't even bring the weed. You all secretly made a deal that you guys were going to bring the weed. And I was like, fine.
Fine.
So we leave, and we go to this one abandoned place that I found.
Remember that gut feeling I was telling you about?
Yeah, we're bringing this up. We went there and
He turns on his
oh
high
wait,
beams.
I didn't say who we were with. We were with Lenny. It was me and Will, and then the one kid that was in the bad mental state
Prior.
But when we were talking about the bluff.
And Pickle.
No, Pickle wasn't with us this one.
Pickle wasn't with us. You're right.
So we pulled up to this house, and we didn't give this guy a name. We're just gonna call him C.
C.
Yeah.
CD.
C. C. CD. CD. We
roll up. He turns on the flash, and out of nowhere, we see this house just poof out of nowhere.
I knew it was there, but no one else had seen it before.
CD is in the middle, staring this thing, just watched it just appear, and was like, "Bro, that scared the shit out of me."
And then he's like, "I don't know, I have a bad feeling," and everyone else was like, "Come on." And I'm like, "No." We all made a promise. The bad feeling.
I was like deadpan looking at CD. I was like, bro, why? But I was like, whatever. Jack put it in reverse.
So
and
we
left.
leave and we drive to Crybaby Bridge.
And we're all chilling there.
We're all chilling. I pull up. I'm trying to take some pictures of the night. I'm just sitting there. They're all smoking. It's all normal stuff. A few cars pass by, nothing big. And then I see a car turn down. I see some brights on it. I'm like, that's probably just a redneck trucker. And I just shut my car door and I just like, hey guys, there's a car coming. Move out of the way. And this car pulls up.
No. I'll make it sound more dramatic.
Okay.
All of us go on the edge and we sit on the rail, right? Jack is like, everything's pitch black, so he just starts pushing his unlock button so the lights will turn on. Just on. He's like, okay, he definitely knows we're here, so he just stops doing that. And we all just start talking again. We're smoking. And then it just slowly rolls up.
Okay.
Stops in front of the bridge.
Let me take it from here. So they're all by the car, and I see this car slowly roll up, and then it stops. And I'm like, well, shit.
Lights on. Boom.
No.
Flashes all of us in
No.
the face like some porn.
No, that's not what happened. The car stops, and I hear the guy's door unlock, and out steps a cop. And
he turns on the light and steps out.
No, like the red and blues?
No, just plain whites.
Okay, yeah. No.
He and
yeah, that. And I'm like, well, shit.
He just nonchalantly walks over and says, "Okay, I can smell the weed. Who has it?" I can
No. He said, "Okay, everywhere around the corner, come around the side of the car." And we're all standing there. He's like, "Okay, I can smell the weed. Who has it?" They're all keeping silent. And I'm like, come on, guys. I'm literally saying, dude, come on. No one's saying anything. And Lenny says, we don't have anything. And I'm like, I look at her. I'm like, he's right here.
I mean, honestly, I think we could have gone away with it.
Okay, fine. Could not. Dude, the smell was strong.
Was it? I don't think it was that bad.
So he's like, okay. He takes it, and then he looks at all of us. He's like, do you guys have anything else? And Will's like, me and Will are both like, we have knives. He's like, okay, can you just take them out slowly?
We just hand him a pile of jewels and knives.
we hand him like 3 jewels, 2 knives.
I think it was like more than 2 knives, man. And Jesus.
He's like, okay.
Well, I don't.
He's like, thank you for not fighting me. And we're like, no problem.
He was like, I don't really care about any of this. He just gives it back to us.
So he starts walking down. He's like, okay, everybody, give me your parents' numbers. He looked at me. He's like, are you driving? I'm like, yes. He says, did you smoke it? I'm like, no, sir. And he's like, do you have anything in your car? I'm like, no, sir. He's like, okay, do you have your license on you? I'm like, I'm sorry, I couldn't find it before I left, so I didn't bring it. He's like, okay, don't worry about it. I literally was like, I can tell you my name. Don't worry. He's like, okay, no problem. He went back. He looked me up in the system. He's like, okay. And then he starts asking for everybody's parents' phone numbers. I'm like, fuck.
Puta madre.
At this point, he doesn't go back to his car because there's a chance of us all running. So he calls someone else, and this lady cop shows up. And once she gets there, she comes back. Lenny's the only one who refuses to empty all our pockets. So this guy was like, okay, well, I brought you a lady cop out here. Are you going to let her search? She's like, no, I don't have anything on me, which I don't know if sure she did or not, but I don't remember. So he starts calling everybody's parents.
Except mine.
Except Will's. And, well, how did your...
So he gets to me, asks for my mom's phone number. I give him my mom's phone number, and out of nowhere, you're like, you sure you want to do that? She can't speak English. I'm like, he's like, you sure you want to give him your mom's number? I'm like, you're right. Hey, officer, I got a different number for you to call. And then he comes back over. He's like, wait, do they speak English? I'm like, nah, nope.
So Will has to walk over to this cop while we're all just sitting here.
No, I didn't. I was still next to your car, and he just made me pull out my phone and call somebody else.
Yeah.
And I called this ignorant motherfucker. Word for word, I said, hola, estoy aquí en un puente y vino la policía y me encontró fumando. Fumando is smoking, right?
Uh-huh.
What are you really gonna fucking understand from that, right? Like, what, smoking cigarettes? Smoking weed? There's only two options, right? And I assumed he knew I was talking about weed. And without hanging up, I just, like, pulled the phone away. I'm like, all right. I told him. He was like, I didn't hear you say weed. I'm like, I just looked at him with the most dumbfounded, stupidest expression I could possibly conjure up. And I just, like, pulled back and just yell into my phone, like, marijuana. And he was like, oh. And from the phone, I just hear him say, well, no shit. No shit.
Puta madre.
And that's it. I hang up the phone. And he was like, cool, that's enough. I'm like, fuck you. One by one, the parents start showing up.
Well, before that, we're all just sitting there in the cold, and he's just sitting there cracking jokes with us. He's like, probably would have been easier if I just chucked him. We just pretended it didn't happen. We're like, yeah. He's like, it's pretty funny. My kid's birthday is actually on 4/20. We're like, oh, that's kind of funny. This guy's trying to be funny, and he's also being like a smartass about it.
That's not working.
So the one kid's mom shows up, and she was the first one there. Which I don't know how she was the first one there when everyone else lived way closer. Mine is like Lenny's, but whatever.
They were just probably taking your time.
She shows up, and she's just kind of like not really caring. She's kind of like laughing. She was cool. And then
this random car just drives in, stops,
turns around,
and like, I'm just gonna walk away. Wrong turn, officer.
And then my mom and my grandfather show up.
That's probably why she took so long.
Yeah, and they both start drilling me, and then
both of us.
No. They start just yelling at me. Then my mom looks at Will, starts yelling at him. She's like, "What this done with your mom? Come on, you stupid." And my grandfather's just yelling at us too.
No, the best line. She walks up after talking to you. She steps into the light, sees me, and it's like, "Of course you're here. Of course you're here."
And so that happens. And then
my guardian shows up.
Yeah.
So I go over to translate.
Yeah, and they're just talking. They're over talking. Lenny's mom and brother shows up. They both walk out like they're both drunk, which is it's kind of rough to walk, but it happened. And then that all happens. I don't I think
you're missing the part where your mom tells the officer,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
hey, if you can charge him with anything,
So
charge him.
my mom walks up to the cop, and my grandfather walks up to him, and of course they know who he is because I think it was either him or his brother like did like Boy Scouts, and my grandfather was like the scout leader, and like it's funny now, but then my mom was like, can he get charged with anything? He's like, no, not really. I mean, I could technically charge him for parking on a bridge, but he's not even that much on the bridge. So most time we wouldn't do anything. She's like, charge him with that, and he's like, okay. If you say so, let's do it. So I got a parking ticket. That's on my record. Luckily, there wasn't any weed in my car. So my grandfather stopped at a park and ride, and then got in the car with my mom, and they pulled up in my mom's car. And then my mom got in her car, started driving home, and my mom was like, you and Pop-Up are gonna get in the car together. And I'm like, oh fuck, this is where I die. So as we're getting to leave, my grandfather gets in the car. The cop comes back, the main cop, and he hands me the stuff back. He doesn't hand me everything, but he hands me 2 jewels and a knife. I'm like, he literally says to me, I know both these aren't yours, but I rather you have them since you're older than these ones. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And I get in the car with my grandfather. I had the knife and all in my pocket. I drive to my grandfather's car. He's like yelling at me the whole way there. And I'm like, yeah, just us being stupid. Oh, yeah, and right. And then he's like, were you guys smoking in the car? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, it smells like it. And he just goes off. I drop off at his car, and I drive home alone. On my way home, I'm like, well, I feel like right when I walk through the door, my mom and dad are both going to try to check my pockets for anything. So I chuck everything out the window as I'm driving. A knife and 2 jewels. Okay, pizza boy. I wasn't even gonna bring that one up because that one's not a big part of this any story, but it was still funny. So that happens. I pull into my driveway. I look in my backseat just like I always do, just to grab anything that's back there, like my camera and all, and I find the makeshift bowl they were smoking out of. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, oh my fucking God. If Mans would have searched. If the cop would have actually, I don't know who it was. Will doesn't know who it is, apparently. But one of them threw it in the back seat when the cop pulled up, I guess. And I could have been charged if the cop, it would have been bad. Yeah. So I get in, I get a whole lecture from my mom. She's like, it's too late for me to be dealing with this. I'm tired. It was only like 9:30, so I don't understand what the fuck. She's like, come on, go to bed. And I go to bed, and I wake up the next morning. My dad starts yelling at me too, because my dad was asleep when all this happened. He was too lazy to get out of bed just to yell at me. He yells at me the next day, and then they tell me the news that it made me so sad. I wasn't allowed to hang out with Will anymore. I'm like, what? What? They're like, no, you're not allowed to hang out with Will anymore. I'm like, okay. Honestly, all the things that could have happened, that's the thing they gave me. It's like, I don't think Will's a bad influence. I think you two together just bounce off each other. I'm like, yeah, chaotic energy, honestly. And no, they're right. I mean, they were right. Obviously. They're right. So me and Will didn't hang out at all that whole summer. I'm going to backtrack a little bit because this is where actually kind of like the podcast in a way kind of started. Should I tell my drive home? Oh, yeah, I want to hear your drive home. Yeah, my drive home. So I'm talking to the cop, translating with yada, yada, yada. Because at this point, wait. Your guy showed up way later than everyone else. Yeah. To the point where my mom was like, I can bring him home. But then he showed up as the cop was about to let you go. Yeah. You're lucky. They would have stuck to get drilled by my mom and my grandfather in the car. You had nowhere to go. Earbuds always an option. Always my saving grace.
But he shows up and he's telling the cop he's not paying attention, right? I'm just translating everything. He's like he doesn't give a fuck. And I'm like, I can see by the way he's saying everything and reacting. I was like, I'm safe.
Will's like, yes,
I'm safe.
I'm fine.
I'm safe. If my mom would have gotten there instead, I would have been so fucked.
And your mom would have never let you hang out with me.
Absolutely. But my boy came through.
His mom still doesn't know to this day. You should tell her before you move out.
So the officer says, it's his first offense. I'm not gonna charge him anything. You can go. I'm like, thank God. I go to open the back seat of the car because I don't want to make eye contact with this man's at all. Mm-hmm. I open the door. He's like, bitch, get in the front seat.
At this point, I'm already gone.
Yeah. I open the door. He's like, bitch, get in the front seat. I'm like, oh, damn it. I close the door, get in the front seat. He drives home. We get off that road, and he's like, okay, listen up, man. We both know how your mom's gonna react, considering everything. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. So he's like, I ain't gonna say shit. But listen, bro, you're a dumbass for coming to this bridge and smoking weed. In hindsight, no, he's absolutely right. Really gonna smoke at Cryberry Bridge? How did we not expect a cop just to drive by, right?
Because Dan and Paige did it.
Yeah.
I mean, why would their cops just be randomly driving past there?
I mean, just driving through specifically. But
well, he wasn't driving through. He had his brights on the whole time, which makes me think that one of the cars that passed by earlier was probably like a Karen and called because they saw you guys all smoking, and that's why he came, because he right when he turned on that road, his brights went on. So like, he was definitely there
searching.
Patrolling. Yeah,
it is what it is. But he called me dumbass for going to Cryberry Bridge and smoking, and I was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't say anything, but he was right. And he was like, I know how your mom's gonna react, so I ain't gonna say shit. And we got home. It was like I was in my room. He just was looking around. He's like, bro, why not here? I'm like, that's what you're yelling at me, right? Why not here, bro? What?
He definitely smoked.
Yeah, most definitely. But I was like, bro, it's kind of cool, but you got some serious blackmail on me now. Man's not in my life anymore. That's the last time I saw him. No, it was like a week later. Then he left.
But
carried the secret to the end. Respect.
Yep. So I was told that I'm not allowed to hang out with Will, and then so this was February 27th, and I wasn't allowed to hang out with Will, and it felt like punishment for like 2 weeks. But then lockdown happened. So
next day I went to school, and they were like rumors, bro. And then my last period, they were arguing about it's not gonna last forever. It's only gonna be 2 weeks and all that stuff. Loudspeaker was like, "Hey, 2 weeks, no school."
No, because we didn't go on lockdown until March 13th. We didn't go on lockdown until March 13th. It wasn't a day later.
After it was like, oh, lockdown, 2 weeks. That's it.
Well, yeah, but that was like on March 13th. It was the last Friday everybody went to school.
Splendid.
Okay. But
Whatever.
So that was kind of like a saving grace because like, okay, well, I guess whether my parents would let me hang out with Will again or not, we wouldn't be able to hang out because it was when beginning lockdown where we weren't allowed to really like go outside unless it was for anything like we needed. So obviously we wouldn't have been able to hang out anyway. Life went on. Me and Will didn't hang out that whole summer. Around August, I hung out with this one other girl for a day. Rissa.
Oh.
I guess Marissa's a pretty popular name, so it's like, yeah.
Pizza Ho.
So yeah, stuff happened with that. Won't even get into that. At one point, I hung out with Will again and just didn't tell my parents. A few times I hung out with Will, actually. I hung out with Garcia one time after that, too. Then came to around, like, last June. There was an NF concert coming up, and I text Will. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna ask my mom if we can go to this. He's like, I'm so down. I text my mom. She's like, "You've been able to hang out with Will. We just like you just haven't really asked to do it." I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?"
See. This is the thing I keep getting on Jackson's ass about. His parents are pretty chill. If he would have asked to hang out with me and whoever, like on those Thursdays instead of going to Bible study, I think she would have said yes.
No, at that point I wasn't allowed to be driving anybody around.
Yeah, but then there was like a crossover where you could have like, hey, can I stop doing this and start doing that?
Yeah.
But you didn't. Like the Rocket League situation.
But so, yeah. So we were able to get these concert tickets. Then we were planning on going to Wildwood, New Jersey, just for a day. And I asked my mom if he could come. She was like, "Yeah, sure, as long as you guys don't get into anything stupid." And yeah, but you cut me off earlier, so let me go back to where I was talking. So after this all happened and lockdown started, I was like, well, you know what? I haven't talked to some of my online friends in a while. So I called my boy Jelani. I'm like, yo, bro, what's up? We start playing Minecraft. We're like, we should start an SMP, try to get some smaller creators. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So I started this SMP. I ended up getting like 13 people. I don't even talk to any of them anymore. And I started making YouTube videos again. That whole summer, I really grinded. I met some of the people I'm still friends with, like Optic, Expiry. Some of the people who are listening know who I'm talking about. I did YouTube that whole summer. At the end of the summer, I stopped doing YouTube. I took a little bit of break. On Halloween, I started streaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After we went to Calvert Cliffs, that night I streamed.
Okay.
And I started streaming. I did like 2 streams. I was doing 2 streams a week. Then I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. I enjoy it. Let's just go full in. Start streaming every day. Built up a following. I'm not going to get super into the detail because I want to tell this in a full-on story one time, not on the podcast. But pretty much started streaming. Other stuff happened. Went through the whole summer without streaming. Me and Will went to our concert. Stuff happened. Not really. No, stuff didn't happen. We started talking about making a podcast, and
here we is.
November, we started talking about the podcast, and
here we is.
Here we are.
Welcome to the Almost Normal Podcast.
Welcome to the Almost Normal Podcast, everyone.
Season finale.
You guys, if you have listened since episode 1, you have officially made it.
You gave us 7 episodes.
You gave us 7 and
more.
And you gave us another 7.
Stuck around.
We made it to 14 episodes. We're at 1:43.
Is what it is.
Guys.
It do be like that.
Guys, I know there's actually people who are going to be really bummed out that they won't be able to hear our beautiful voices every week. I know. But guess what? It's only 5 weeks. We will be back.
Like, can we make it 7? Like a like a nice, 7. Keep the 7 going through.
No, guys, we will be back on.
I'm gonna take 7. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take 7. 7 weeks.
Oh wait, actually, I think I have it as 7. 6. No, I have it 6.
6. Add 1 more.
No.
Add 1 more,
bro. We're already going to be gone the whole month of March. Like, literally.
The whole month.
This episode comes out March 2nd, and we won't be back till April 13th. Guys.
It do be like that.
It do be like that. But guys, hey. Season 2, we're going to have video.
As we're ending season 1, I do want to say a couple things. We've said a lot of names, and I was at under the influence at work, and I get a little paranoid at work, or while I'm under the influence, and I'm like, we've offended some people. I'm sure we're gonna have to do some work on that,
guys.
At some point,
it is season 1.
At some point, I want to get rid of the first 2 episodes completely, please.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Guys, we finished season 1. This was our introductory. You got to know us. We got to get out of our comfort zone a little bit, get a little more extroverted, talk a little bit more Will than me, but You got to see more into what goes on in our lives on the weekly. You got to
more
see
than our parents.
Our backgrounds. You got to hear of some crazy stuff, some not crazy stuff, some stupid shit, some funny adventures. But guys, this is the end of chapter 1.
Listen to the first 2 episodes before I force Jackson to take them down.
Guys, if you haven't listened to all the episodes, do a quick, just listen through all of them. It's literally, listen to 1 episode a day for the next 2 weeks. You'll be fine. Honestly, probably 2 weeks from when this episode comes out, I'm going to convince Will to try to do a bonus episode. It's not going to be a full hour. I know you guys are sad. It'll probably be like half hour. But it's just going to be a quick bonus episode just to give you guys something. Season 2 trailer will be coming out soon. But Season 2, expect to see our pretty faces every week. And maybe some guests. Wink, wink. But guys...
Can you tighten this? Is this tightenable?
Yeah, we'll tighten it. Guys, this is the end of a chapter. Will, shake hands and part. We won't see each other for the next 7 weeks.
Thank God.
I'm just kidding. Me and Will will probably still hang out every week. Just
fucking
go drive
this guy.
Straight lines. But guys...
We had up at an airport the last time we did this.
Guys...
All right, cut it off there. We
No.
ended at an airport. Cut it off.
Guys... I hope you guys did enjoy Season 1. This is a serious time. Let's...
Serious time?
Compose yourself. Guys, we made through Season 1. In the beginning, we were pretty offensive, but I think we've mellowed out.
I don't think so.
I think we have.
Maybe.
I mean, I was saying I hate gay people every episode, so I think we're doing good.
Okay. Well, you just said it now, so.
Well, no, I was
backtracking.
I was quoting. I didn't say I hate it. But guys, this is the end of a chapter.
We will try to be more professional in Season 2 and moving forward.
And expect guests. I have a few guests that I want to have on. It's just more of us traveling to have to go get their episodes. But guys, we do hope you did enjoy Season 1. And this has been the Almost Normal Podcast. I am your host, Jax, with my co-host, Will.
I am.
And we are signing off for the last time for the next month or so. We love you guys.
Bye, you fucks.
Make sure you do continue.
Okay, this is a long ass outro. Let's wrap it up.
We love you guys.
They got things to do, like listening to the first 2
in another episode.
Jesus. Bye.